Hey YouTubers, today we have a GE Cafe double oven, and the upper oven, which gets used most often, is no longer heating up. So we are going to change the igniter. So I pulled out the oven rack, and I have this light on, so I do have it still plugged in, but I'd like you to unplug it before you do this procedure. I'm just leaving this light on to make it easier for you guys to see, but it's a little dangerous to keep these powered up when you're doing it, so I'd prefer if you either turn off the breaker or you unplug it. So I'm using a 1/4 inch drive to remove 2 1/4 inch screws from the back of the lower panel. This is again on the upper oven. Once I get those screws out, I can lift up on this bottom plate and I can pull it out toward me. There's another deflector plate that kind of spreads the heat, and there's 3 1/4 inch screws holding it in place. So same thing, we're just going to remove those. We'll be able to pull this plate out. So when ovens don't heat like this, it's usually 3 possibilities. Most often it's the igniter has worn out, and sometimes the controller that's sending power to the igniter is no longer working, and sometimes there's a high limit, like kind of like a fuse that can blow when people use self-clean, and that can also limit it. But most often it's just you need to change the igniter. This customer mentioned that their oven is only 2 years old, so this is kind of early, but they said that they were using self-clean, and self-clean is kind of destructive for these igniters. They don't last as long. We advise people not to use self-clean. Here's the igniter, and I'm going to remove a couple of screws holding it in. And first thing I'll do though is I will pull on these wires to get them pulled out of the firewall a little bit to give me extra wire, and I'm going to I'll just show you guys first what the igniter is doing. So I'm going to set it for bake. I'll press start, and we'll see the igniter glow. So this igniter still is hooked up. It has power. It does glow, which is correct, but since it's worn out, it doesn't glow bright enough. It gets like orange hot. We want to get like white hot. They don't get hot enough, they won't let gas flow in because they don't want there to be an explosion. So that's a common symptom when igniters are going out. You don't get as much heat, or in this case, you're getting no heat. Sometimes you get uneven cooking too. These igniters are only about 20 bucks, and they're very easy to pop in. Doing this yourself, you probably save about $200. So I'm going to make a cut with my wire cutters at about 2 inches away from the igniter. Again, I would like you guys to have the power off, either unplugged or the breaker turned off. I'm used to doing this stuff live, but I don't advise it.
Hey guys, can you take just a second to click on the subscription link below? It really helps our channel, and also the bell notification, so every time we make a new video, we can send it right to you. We make a new video about once every week. Really appreciate that, and if you give us a thumbs up, it'd be great. Thank you.
So did those cuts. Now I can remove the igniter. If you had this powered up and you remove the igniter and then the metal part of the igniter touched the frame, it will short circuit your controller, which is very expensive. It's another reason you want it to be unplugged. So I'm removing these 1/4 inch machine screws. They're a little bit different. The threads are different, but it's the same 1/4 inch drive. And once you get those 2 out, it's kind of hard to see them. They're behind the igniter. Once you get them out, you can just lift the old igniter out. But again, if it was powered up and the wires were still hooked up and you removed it and it accidentally touched any metal piece, it's not good. It'll basically destroy your controller. So we get those little machine screws out. You can lift out the old igniter, and it has a special bracket or frame that holds it in. This is what the new one looks like here in the corner, but its bracket's a little bit different. All we have to do though, it's pretty easy, is we have to just slightly bend on the new igniter frame to remove it. Go bend out to the right, bend out to the left, and then the porcelain and metal pieces of the igniter can come out. Be really careful not to bang that metal piece of the igniter because that metal is very fragile. We're going to bend out the old frame because we're going to reuse it. remove the old porcelain and metal igniter from inside that old frame, and then we'll put the new igniter inside the old frame, and then we're just going to use our fingers to squish in that metal onto the new igniter, and then I'll actually squeeze a little bit, not really hard, but a little bit with a pair of pliers so that it's holding into that, that frame is holding into that igniter. Okay, now I'm going to be really careful I don't bang up that metal part of the igniter, and I'm going to put the 1/4 inch screw into the drive, and then I'll put that into the hole, and then I'll again very carefully guide this igniter into position, and I'll be able to see the hole a little bit from where I'm at here. I can see that back hole, I can line it up, and then I'm just going to gently twist righty-tighty to feed those machine threads from that screw into the frame and get that nice and tight. Then I'll repeat the same process with the second 1/4 inch screw. And I've been really careful not to bang up that metal part of the igniter because it is so fragile. And the next thing I'll do is hook up the wires. Now when you hook up these wires, there's no polarity issue. So you can hook up either wire coming from the oven to either wire on the igniter. You won't cause any problem if they're backwards, or there's really no polarity, so you can hook them up either way. I'm going to strip back about 1/4 inch of the insulation from the wire, and then I'll hook that up to the wire from the igniter, which has also had a 1/4 inch strip back. I'll put the porcelain wire nut on, and I'll twist righty-tighty until it can't go any further, nice and tight. Porcelain's really good because it won't melt. This is all designed for high heat situations like inside of an oven. I'm repeating the same process with the second wire. Get that into position, and I'll twist that on, get it super tight. We're going to then feed all that wire back into that hole inside the firewall just to get it out of the way. So just push that arm in, and we're going to give it a little test to make sure it's going to light. So the difference between these old igniters and the new igniters, they both glow, they both light, but the new one glows brighter and has a different resistance value that lets the safety valve open up. So I'm pressing bake, I press start, and it should fire up here pretty quick. It should start to glow usually within 30 seconds. And to just be a little patient, I'm going to press in on the door switch here so it gets darker so we can see better. We can see it's already starting to glow. And when it gets hot enough, it'll open up the safety valve, it'll let the gas flow in, and it'll be bright and hot enough to, like a match, to light that gas. We'll get a nice blue flame. There we go. So there's our flame, looking good. So we can go ahead and just cancel now, let it cool a little bit, and then we're just going to put it back together. So turned it off. So we're feeding the heat deflector back in. It has 2 tabs in the back, and you just tighten up the 3 screws in the front. We're putting the lower plate back in. Fits in on the lip in the front, and we set down the parts in the back. We add these longer 1/4 inch screws back in. We just spin them in by hand, and then we can get them tight with a wrench. And that's it. After that, we put the rack back in, we close the door, and we're going to go ahead and set it for 350 degrees, which is a common baking temperature. And we're going to let it heat up and make sure it can get up to the proper temperature, which this one did. It did great. You do probably want to let this go up to 350 degrees and hold it for about 20 minutes to let it bake off any kind of smoke or gas coming off the new igniter so it wouldn't contaminate your food. And then it should be okay to bake. Putting in the rack, close it, set it for 350, and we'll press start. And it took about maybe 10 minutes, and now it's up at 350. It's nice and hot in there, and that worked great.
Thanks so much for watching our video. Please leave any comments or questions in the comment section below. We really appreciate that. We have a really nice video coming up for you right here that I think you'll enjoy. Very similar, dealing with appliance repair. So thanks again for watching our video.